Okay, so we're going to start with how we can show up for ourselves this week. Here we have the Sun card. Beautiful. Let me move this out of the way. All right, and then how can we connect to Spirit? Got the Devil card. Move this up a scotch. Next, what actions will move us forward? The Hierophant, like a busy week for us. Next, how can we better communicate this week? The Six of Wands. Lovely. Hi there. Let's see. How can we build more happiness this week? I'm going to move this out the way. We've got the King of Pentacles. What will strengthen love this week? We've got the Two of Wands. And lastly, what will support growth in our business or in our personal work this week? And we've got the 10 of Cups. All right, so if you guys watch my videos, you see this lovely wand that I have with me all the time from my friends over at Modern Goldfish. And so this week, if you look right down the middle, this is kind of the core of who we are. And it looks like really big energy, right? It's all major arcana cards here. Let me turn this down a little bit. This music is annoying me. Yeah, so it's all major arcana cards here, starting with the Sun. So, we'll go into a little bit more when I do each card individually, but really showing up big and bright and bold for ourselves and creating some structure while letting some shit go. And then we look across. So when I do this spread, I think about it in terms of being able to read it from different positions, different ways. And so when we look across here, these things are really about communication, about our happiness, and everything else that I see. There's a lot of people here, so having people around you this week is going to be really important, and really talking to people, right? Being around people that you can trust is going to be really important this week. So let's start here, and I'll pick it up so you can see it. I'll move these a little bit. I won't be on here long today, but if you've got any questions, pop them in here. For this month, I have my half price sale going on, so check over the link in bio for the code. It is gift for you, so any of the 1 hour bookings that we have are half off. But I just wanted to do this live with y'all today because, like I said, I haven't had time this week. I've been busy to record it. So starting with how we need to show up for ourselves this week is going to be the Sun card. And this is really, it's the sun, right? I mean, everything revolves around it. The sun is what warms the planet. It's what warms us. It gives us energy. This is a very Leo forward card. And so think about, as you're showing up this week, think about what big, bold moves can you make that are also moves that are going to help to nurture things, right? In this deck in particular, I like that it's got babies here, and she's working. She's not just showing up. She's showing up and working, right? And doing something that she enjoys. And so think about that this week. How can you show up more doing what you really love, what you really enjoy doing, right? And you're welcome to pop that in the chat too. I'd love to hear about that. All right, so that's how we're showing up this week. So next is how we can connect to Spirit. And here we have the Devil card, right? So the Devil card is generally a card of warning that we're doing too much, right? It's a warning that we are hanging on to shit that we need to let go of, that we are doing things we know are not serving our best interests, right? The Devil card is about you know, it can be a lot around addiction, gluttony, right? This is the holidays, so there's lots of things that we are doing too much of. And so when we think about this in terms of how we can connect to spirit, think about what has been preventing you, right? So if you're the kind of person who, likes to or wants to meditate more, be more spiritual, maybe religious, what are the things that are preventing you from slowing down and listening to spirit, right? What are some of the things that you can be doing on a consistent basis that are going to help you let go of this shit that's been holding you back, right? Think about some of those things, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's powerful because they're big things. They're big things that really have been holding you back. I've gotten a lot recently around issues of depression and sadness and lethargy from people, right? And so think about that as you're thinking about things to release. And again, what has been preventing you from really showing up in big ways? All right, next we've got what actions will move us forward. And we have, again, our third in a row Major Arcana card. And here we've got the Hierophant card. And so when you think about taking action, right, this card in particular is very much about structure. It's very much about, sometimes it's about taking lessons, right, from a higher being, a higher power, from authority figures. But a lot of times for me, this is really about creating that structure for yourself, right? How can I create more structure in my life and in really meaningful ways, not just, okay, I need to exercise more, right? But really creating structures and boundaries and letting people know what those are, right? Not just showing up and being bossy. But when we think about this in terms of what actions are going to move us forward, so we already had showing up for ourselves with the Sun card. We need to show up big. And how are we connecting the spirit to help us with that? We're letting go of the things that have been slowing us down recently, right? So this is going to be creating that structure, taking action, creating structure to make sure that as we release these things, as we are letting go and understanding what's been holding us back so we can show up much bigger, it's going to be really creating structure so that we can be consistent with that, right? I know for me, I will say that I'm not always great with structure. I'm not great with routine. I'm a very spontaneous kind of person. And so it can be really difficult. This card is really difficult for me normally because I don't like to follow the rules so much, even when I know that it's helpful, right? And so this is just remembering that structure, when it's done for the right reasons, is really helpful, and don't be afraid of it. And so the action this week is, how can you create that structure? Okay. Let me know if you got any questions. Pop it in chat there. All right. So next we've got how can we better communicate this week? And we've got the Six of Wands, right? So, communication, and we've seen this the last couple of weeks really throughout the cards, it's think about how can you celebrate what you've been doing, right? So communication isn't just us talking. It's not just us listening, right? It's allowing other people, allowing space for other voices, for other opinions, and allowing people to celebrate you and what you're doing, right? And so when we think about how we're able to communicate, sometimes people just want to give you the compliment, right? Just take it. How often have you gotten a compliment from somebody? Be like, oh, this dress, oh, I got this on sale. Oh, this is so old. It's whatever, right? Sometimes building communication is sitting down and internalizing what's happening, what's coming to you, right? And so this week, as you think about how you can better communicate, allow in these other opinions, allow the celebration of you to happen and being able to give that to other folks as well, right? All right. So next up, we've got how can we build more happiness this week? And this is the King of Pentacles here. So, money isn't usually the first thing that comes up when I see this card, but it is. It is this week. When I look at this card this week and I look at that, the king, and as he's celebrating, sorry, my cat always wants to come up when I'm doing readings. The king here isn't just about strength. I mean, kings are about strength, about leadership in certain ways. It's not just, though, about this week when you think about happiness. Think about, when I say money, I want you to think about what you can be doing if you are more abundant right now. If you had money, if you had more money, if you had the ability to make more money, what would you be doing with that, right? How would more money help you to show up this other way, to show up even more for yourself and for others, right? Don't think about, oh, I need more money just to make more money. Okay, yeah, I mean, we've got bills to pay, so on. But really focus on this week. When you think about your happiness, focus on how financial prosperity can really help you. Again, I'll use myself as the example. I am a business owner, and so making money is important. In order for me to continue to help people and do the work that I do, I have to be able to make money, right? But if I just focus on I need money for money's sake, it feels so much heavier and harder for me to make that money. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense to you. So as you think about, how you can build more happiness this week, think about what you can do with more prosperity, with more abundance. Okay. All right, next we've got what will strengthen love this week. And here we've got the Two of Wands. Girl, stop. Here we've got the Two of Wands. So what will strengthen love this week? This Two of Wands is taking actions, but it's really about, stop, girl. It really is about looking towards the future, looking towards what the possibilities are, where you want to go, not just moving, not just taking action and for the sake of taking action, but making a plan, right? Thinking about, how we can, even if we go back to the money, right? How is this money, how is building this wealth and abundance, how is that going to be really helpful for us, right? How is that going to help us in the long term to move forward, right? And so when you think about strengthening love this week, think about taking actions that are long-term, that are not just, how can I meet somebody? How can I hook up with somebody, right? But how can I sustain love in my life, right? And oftentimes, it goes back to us. What can we do for us that is going to help to sustain love, to build love? How can I love myself even more so that I can draw that in from other people, right? So think about that this week, that it isn't just about jumping into something. It's about really being thoughtful and making a plan and thinking about partnership in terms of the long term, making a plan for the long term, right? All right. Last but not least, we've got what will support growth in our work, whether it's business or personal. And here we've got the 10 of Pentacles. So, this is, like the best card, right? This is the happy family card. This is about rejoicing and celebrating and thinking about all the good things that come when you are working and building together with other people, right? So this week, when you think about what's going to support growth, it's other people. It's not trying to do everything yourself. It's allowing other people to be a part of what your process is and helping you to build, right? If we go back to our communication card and thinking about other people and bringing in those voices and opinions, it's pretty similar to that, right? It really is about that celebration of joy and happiness, right? That you get when you are together with other people, when it's not just the weight and the burden of you trying to figure shit out all by yourself, right? And so, overall this week, when you look at all of these together, I mean, there's big energy that we have to focus on internally. There's things that we have to create structure around. We have to create structure around showing up for ourselves. This week, we have to really figure out the shit we need to let go of, the things that we need to get rid of, because there's some heavy things that are really weighing on us. But we have to create some structures around what that looks like to let it go, right? And then all of the external pieces to this really are about other people. How does that play into how we're working together with other people, how we're allowing other people to show up for us and together with us, not just in our communication, but in also our celebration, right? As we're thinking about building, as we're thinking about growing, as we're thinking about long-term plans here, how are we allowing other people to be a part of what we're building and the joy and the wealth and abundance that we're building in our lives? I mean, it feels really good. It feels like some work. It feels like this week's going to be a little work, but it feels good. So that's it. I wanted to just do this live with y'all this week. I'm going to chop up these videos a little bit like I normally do, and so that you have some posts to see each day there. But I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye. Peace out.